Hey BookTube, welcome back. I'm Winx, and the ink I'm talking about today is a mix of things. I have a very short April wrap-up. I want to do my May TBR, and since it's Friday, I will let you know what I'm reading right now and what I plan to read going into next week. I will start off with my wrap-up, and the first book that I read in April was Necessity by Jo Walton, which is the third book in her Thessaly trilogy. I really loved this trilogy, and I really love Jo Walton. She is able to write these stories where it just shouldn't work. It just sounds so absurd that it shouldn't work, but somehow it does, and it's awesome, and it's magical, and everything that I've read so far from her has basically been that. The basic idea of this trilogy, if you are not aware of it, the Greek deities Apollo and Athena decide that they want to do an experiment and see if they can gather a bunch of humans from different periods of time and different places in the world, put them on an island, and see if they can create Plato's Republic. So already it's just a really wild idea. There's time travel, there's robots, there's space travel, there's all kinds of things, and it's so good. It's so good. I really enjoyed the final book. I thought it brought a lot of things together. I love the characters, and it was really great to see a few people come back in this book that we didn't get to see as much in the second book, or at all in the second book in some cases. Yeah, I really enjoyed this trilogy. And if you would like to hear more about that, I did a video earlier this week with my girlfriend Jess. It's the first in a little series that I wanted to try out called Books with Bae, which is essentially Jess and I rambling on about books that we have read together and our general feelings about it. And it's full of fun and cuteness, and yeah. That's basically it. So this last one was really long. It was about 35 minutes, just sort of podcast style, rambling, chatting, giggling, and it's full of spoilers. So be warned if you go check that one out, there are lots of spoilers, but we are planning to make some more videos and have them be a little less spoilery. So anyway, that's total tangent. The second book that I read this month was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and this book, so good. I cried so much in this book. It wasn't a sad book. I just cried because there were so many moments of like emotional things happening. The relationships and characters in this book are just amazing. I'm planning on doing a separate video for this one, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but just know it's amazing, and 5 stars, no question. I loved it. I was vlogging my reading for this, but once I got to the end, I got a little bit like too captured by the story, and I couldn't make myself stop and give meaningful vlog moments. I don't know. So I'm going to use a bit of the vlog footage, but also just film some to fill in the blanks and give some more thoughts on it. So it's going to be vlog-ish. Yeah, but you can look forward to that. And the final book that I read in April is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in her Tawny Man trilogy, which, if you are reading the books that she writes in the world of the Elderlings, the Tawny Man trilogy is the third trilogy in that set. So there's not a whole lot I can say about this book to not spoil things, because it is the second book in the third trilogy. So you need some context. But I will say that, as always, this book is so well written. I love Hobb's writing. I was warned of this. Maya from Maya Reads warned me that I would be really frustrated with Fitz, and I thought, like, oh yeah, you know, he's frustrating sometimes, and I was pretty mad at him in Assassin's Quest at a few points, but I get it. Maya, I get it. So frustrating, that kid. I mean, he's like 30 now, but yeah, so frustrating. Yet I just have to say, like, she writes these books so well, and she writes these characters so well, where I feel so much for Fitz, and I feel so many emotions for his situation, and my heart goes out to him and all these different trials that he's going through. And that's happening at the same time that I'm just incredibly mad at him and frustrated and annoyed. And why are you doing this, Fitz? Just go and make up with your friends. Yeah. So the fact that she makes these characters that are so complex and that pull out so many complex feelings in the reader, I think is just really worth mentioning. Compared to the first book in this trilogy, and really compared to most of the books that I've read by Robin Hobb, this one did not have a lot of action in it. There wasn't a lot of big dramatic plot points. Things are happening and things are developing, but the book didn't end on a major cliffhanger, which I think a lot of her books do. They're building up more and more and more, so that by the time you finish the second book, you can't do anything in life until you read the third book. At least that's how I felt when I was reading the first two trilogies. This one, they're about to go on a quest, and this book ended just before they're going to leave on the quest. But it was kind of things wrapped up in a way that it's peaceful. My heart's not racing. I don't have to pick up the next book immediately, which is fine because I wasn't planning on picking it up immediately. So it's probably better for me. But yeah, but there was a lot of character development in this one, which I did appreciate. I feel like that was more the focus in this one. A lot of the characters that we met in the Farseer trilogy, it's been like 15 years now, and you see how they've changed, or you see how they stay the same. The queen, I feel like her personality is very solid, and I think that says a lot about her character, just as much as it says when someone has changed and some of their true colors are coming out or whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed seeing the character development and the relationships being developed, and just kind of seeing how things are setting up for the third book, which I think is going to be good. I can't decide. I literally just finished this before filming like 10 minutes ago. I can't decide if this is quite a 5-star for me. Most of her books have been 5-star. I think this would probably be like 4.5. So I'm not sure what I will give it on Goodreads just yet. Probably 5-star because it's Robin Hobb and the characters. And at this point, I'm just so into it. Yeah, it's probably gonna be 5-star. But I think if I could give a half star, I probably would do 4.5. Just because. But I am looking forward to picking up the third book whenever I can. Which brings me to my May TBR. I did spend the first few days of the month finishing up The Golden Fool. I had hoped to be done with it by the end of April, but I didn't quite get there. I got a new microphone and I got totally carried away with playing with it a few nights, so I got a little bit behind in my reading. No big deal. But the book that I am starting in on as of tonight is Within the Sanctuary of Wings by Marie Brennan. This is the 5th and final book in her Memoirs of Lady Trent series. I am obsessed with this series. I'm so sad to see it come to an end, but I'm so excited to see how things wrap up in this world, and just to get back into it. And as always, the cover is gorgeous. All the covers of these books are just beyond gorgeous, so pretty. And it does deckled pages, and there's not much I don't like about these books. So I'm really, really looking forward to starting in on this one tonight. Then I have 2 books picked out to read, which I'm not going to tell you much about specifically because they are both books I'm looking at for Book Bath Box. I'm just trying to stay on top of things and read ahead and get some books picked out for future boxes. So I'm going to be working on those. And they both sound really awesome, so I'm excited to get into both of them. One of them has actually been on my to-read list for quite a while, so I'm going to read that one first. But both of them seem cool, and hopefully I will find some winners. Next, I have a book picked out to read with Jess. This one is called After the Crown, and it is the sequel to Behind the Throne, which I haven't talked about on my channel, but some of you already know that I'm quite a fan of it, and I'm going to be talking about it in a video in a few weeks probably. But I'm very excited to read After the Crown, and Jess and I both really enjoyed Behind the Throne, so I think this will be a fun one to read together. We didn't read the first one together, but we discussed it after she read it. Behind the Throne is about this princess turned gunrunner who gets dragged back to her home planet to take her place back up as the heir to the empire. And there's all this political intrigue and just, yeah, it's awesome. So awesome. And I'm really excited to see what happens in the sequel. By the time I finish all of those books, May will probably be over, but I have 2 other books that are sort of backup books, which I really wanted to get to this month, but I don't think it's going to happen. So the first book, I definitely need to get to this one soon, and that is The Dragon's Blade Veiled Intentions, which is the second book in the Dragon's Blade trilogy by Michael R. Miller. I was sent a copy of this to review, and I really want to actually read it so I can do a review of it. I enjoyed the first book, and I did a separate review for that quite a while back, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going on in this world. There were some interesting things that were sort of developing and building up in the story by the time the first book ended. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what has happened since we last left that world and those characters. If I don't get to this one this month, I'm still going to try and work it in the next few months because, like I said, I really want to get to this one and do a review. The final book is almost laughable that I would add this on at the end of all of the other books when probably there's no chance that I will actually have time left in the month for it. It's this giant, giant book. But it's Fool's Fate, which is the third book in the Tawny Man trilogy, and follows The Golden Fool, which is what I just finished. I do want to pick this one up soon, but I probably won't get to it this month, especially considering how big it is and how many other books I have on my list to read. So that is everything and more on my May TBR. And again, as far as Friday reads go, the first book I'll be picking up is Within the Sanctuary of Wings. This will probably go fairly quickly because I doubt I'll be able to put it down. And once I finish this one, I'm moving on to some Book Bath Box picks. So that is my plan for the rest of the week. Let me know down in the comments what you guys have been reading, if you've read any of these various books and what you think of them. If so, I would love to hear about it. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope you're all having a fantastic start to the weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!